Cyril, good viewers and listeners in. This is the first of our Horde class guides, so we're going to be starting off with the most important class of them all, the Horde MVP, if you will. Which reminds me, I received an electronic post mail from a young viewer named Will from Hawkins, Indiana. Will writes, "Dear old Cyril, I'm having trouble beating Horde mode on the higher difficulties. Which class should I use? Well, let's give this young feller a surprise and call him at home. Let's see here. Right. That's a 5. Okay.
Will?
No, it's not Will. But if you see him, give him this message. Pick the heavy class! Indeed, the heavy is so critical to Horde mode that it's difficult to beat anything above normal difficulty without at least one heavy in your squad. But it is also the most frequently misused class. I've never once played public Horde and saw the heavy used properly. But fear not, old Cyril is here with your roadmap to success. In order to best make use of the heavy class, you need to take specific skill cards which will amplify the two most powerful weapons in the game, the salvo and the manned turret. Take the following skills: explosive damage, capacity, heavy weapon damage, marked damage, and turret damage. The 3 weapons cards plus marked damage all stack on the salvo, tripling its already potent output. And turret damage also stacks with marked damage, doubling the extremely lethal power of the level 4 man turret, making this far and away the highest damage dealing class in the game. It even consistently outdamages the mighty Hammer of Dawn Strike, which we'll show you later on in the video. But just to give you a brief glimpse of the heavy's power, here it is in action on wave 50 of Insane, decimating 2 snatchers in a matter of seconds. F***ing insane! Another important thing you'll need when playing as the heavy is a weapons locker. The weapons locker is the heavy's BFF, which stands for best f***ing friend. In fact, it's a good idea to have several of them with multiple salvos on each, especially on the higher difficulties. The boom shot should only really be used until you acquire the salvo and a weapons locker, which should be the first fortification the engineer buys. It'll make the ensuing waves that much easier. When you are forced to use the boom shot, only aim for direct hits on the larger, slower moving enemies. Though it's tempting to try for fancy headshots on little monkeys, the human-sized and smaller enemies tend to move erratically, and the splash damage of a near miss is more than enough to kill them, so aim for a nearby wall or the ground. One thing you need to be wary of when playing as the heavy is keeping your distance from your targets. The heavy is pretty useless at close range, so if you ever do end up in a close encounter, running like a little bitch is the best option. It's like General Custard once said, "'Tis better to run and be called a coward than to stand and fight a losing battle against thy locust." Or some shit. The heavy is in fact at such a disadvantage in close quarters that it's a good idea to always stay in the base safely behind some barriers, especially since that's where your weapons locker and turret are going to be. Because of this, the heavy is an ideal class to support the engineer and should buy a second repair tool so at the very least he can refill his own turret when the need arises. It's also good to get in the habit of having your repair tool equipped when you're on a turret so this doesn't happen. f***ing idiot! Oh wait, that was me. If you absolutely have to leave the base as a heavy, like say when a scout goes down, make sure you take a salvo along with you, as incredibly it causes less self-inflicted splash damage at close range than the boom shot. If you run out of salvos while you're out there, don't forget about the Retro Lancer. Along with a perfect active reload boost and the marked damage bonus, the Retro Lancer is surprisingly effective right up until the last 10 waves, when the increased enemy health renders it useless. Alright, as promised, now I'm gonna show you how effective the heavy is at out-damaging the other classes. First, here's the level 4 turret with the marked and turret damage skills. This is the final waves of hardcore difficulty. Our team consisted only of 2 heavies and a scout, and we breezed through it because of the vicious turret damage. Look how quickly it cuts them down! Even if they can land consistent headshots, a sniper can't reload fast enough to keep up with the turret, and the sniper strike is ineffective on bosses, even when leveled up. The soldier just doesn't pack enough punch on later waves. Even with the damage and reload boost skills on the soldier, the turret still blows through targets in about half the time. And the scout? Forget it. On the last 10 waves, the scout is just a support class and is really only good for picking up power. And then there's the salvo. The only thing that can even match the mighty salvo is the Hammer of Dawn, and even that is inconsistent at best. Plus it's way overpriced at 11,000 power, and if it doesn't get the job done, you're often left without funds for a backup plan. I've blown through 55,000 power before with a level 2 hammer strike, and not even killed the boss because it kept on moving. The salvo is just far more dependable. Don't mistake this for bashing the other classes. They all have their uses, which I'll detail in their specific videos. But for making it through Horde in the easiest possible fashion, heavy is the way to go. So there you have it. The best way to use the best class in the game. Someone told me to open a Patreon, but I don't know what the fuck that is. So if you want to thank me, just give a snatcher doodle a mush full of salvo rockets and say it's from old Cyril. Till next time, fare thee well, fuckers! If you enjoyed the video, please leave a comment and a like. It helps us get more exposure on the YouTubes. And while you're at it, why not subscribe? We put out shit like this every week.